Good evening and welcome to tonight's session called Monetize Your Message. I'm Dean Seddon, founder of Maverrik, and I'm here to give you a live training session on how you can make the most of your message to make an impact and make some money. So we're going to walk through this training session. We're going to give it a few minutes for people to join. Hi, Rob. Hi, Graham. Hi, I can't see that, Gulsum. Do let us know where you're joining from. Great to have people on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and wherever else you're watching. And if you're watching on the replay, please do share your feedback in the comments or in the chat, because we will get it and look at it. And if there's questions, you can ask us as well. So just whilst we're, I can see somebody's joining from South Africa, Rob from Devon, brilliant. And PBM Consulting, welcome. What we're going to do, I really enjoy doing interactive sessions. So hopefully you're feeling brave to engage in the chat. So Simone from London, which is brilliant. I like to do interactive. So Harry and Alex, brilliant there. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you some exercises to do, and we're going to do them in real time. So Hampshire, UK, brilliant. We're going to do it all in real time. So there's no kind of like death by PowerPoint tonight. I've done so many PowerPoint presentations this week, I couldn't possibly face another one. So I thought we'll do it interactive. I'm going to give you some things to do, and I want you to start to think about how you do it. So Suzanne from Norwich, brilliant. So you're all joining, and we're going to we've got 4 things I want to cover. So if you signed up on our landing page, you've probably seen there's 4 key points I want to cover. I want you to unlock the message, or create the one message that will unlock the revenue. And I want to explain what that is and why taking some time for yourself to find that message is important. I want you to see how you can turn that message into a revenue opportunity. I want you to see how you can amplify your message to reach bigger audiences. And then I want to go interactive, really interactive, to build your messaging production machine. So that's what we're going to kind of do. We're going to do it all in about 45 minutes. So it's going to be whistle stop. Oh, Pete Moores. I know Pete Moores from Twickenham. Yes, so what we're going to do is we're going to do all this in 45 minutes. Now, of course, and I'll just get the kind of disclaimer bits out the way, what I'm going to show you is going to take some time for you to kind of bed in and work this through. I will let you know that next week I start, this is the only kind of, I'll draw a reference to it, but this is the only pitch you're going to get from me tonight. I'm starting a program on the 26th where we actually go through some of this process together in group calls and group training. So intermittently, I'll let you know what the information is. But if you want more information on that, do drop us an email and we'll tell you more about it. So as we get into this, obviously this is interactive, so I can see Mr. Riley is there, which is brilliant. And I can see Harry's there, and Jess D from New Jersey, and somebody from Pakistan and Hampshire. So all brilliant. Norwich. So why is one message the key to unlocking revenue? That's my first point. And please do take notes. We'll get the replay to you if you need it. Just drop us an email if you want the replay, and the email address is on screen. Why is one message so important? Well, the reality is, as clever as us human beings are, we often latch on to one thing. If you look at elections, if you look at the way we vote, often it's one sentence, one statement that people remember, and they remember that at the ballot box. When they vote, they remember that. So one message is probably all you need to gain the interest of an audience. One clear message communicated consistently can land you business, interest, inquiries, clients, because you punch through the noise when you say things consistently and very clearly. So I'm not getting political, but I'm going to give you an example. So don't draw anything about the examples or whether you think it's right or wrong. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm going to give you some political examples, and you need to think about your business and your message as a political campaign. You are trying to get people to tick your box. You are trying to get people to say, you're the right choice for me. And so, however we dress it up, we are running an election. You are running an election. Now, if you go round to every door and ask people to vote for you, vote for you, vote for you, they're going to ask, why? So I'm going to draw some examples, not right, not wrong. I'm just going to use the examples of the power of a singular message. Now, when your message resonates with an audience and it's clear and easy for people to grab hold of, it doesn't mean it's truthful, it just means it's easy for people to grab hold of. They latch onto it. So let me give you an example. In the UK recently, we've had two very powerful messages that have punched through and got people to vote in a particular way. We got the vote leave, take back control. Whatever you think of Brexit, and we're not going there, the message resonated with an audience. They said the country needs to be ruled sovereignty, and we want to have control in Britain, the UK. That message punched through, and as a result, the leave vote got that marginal lead. Whatever we think of it, the messaging cut through the noise and got people to say, I'm in that camp. Now, we also saw it in 2019, where we saw a paralysed government in the UK, unable to make a decision, and one message cut through and said, get Brexit done. So all these policies, all these documents, all these amazing things mean nothing if you can't land a message. So one message for you could be the key to unlocking all of the growth in your business, for elevating your authority in your business, because one message landed in the minds of your clients, in the minds of your target audience, could be all you need. And if you look across social media, there's many people going, I help X do Y. Now that's one way to do it. But you should align yourself and your message with the problems and the challenges that you're going to solve. So if you're an activist, a political activist, a humanitarian activist, you'd be focused on, I am helping fight world hunger and I want to eliminate children going hungry. It's a very clear message, and you can say that to people, and producers and media organizations and other people will engage with it. You look on Instagram, you look on Facebook, you look on LinkedIn, you see that the people who do really well have a very, very clear message. The people who struggle often end up in a position where they're flitting between messages. One day they sell widgets to this person, and the next day they sell widgets to this person. And one day they're selling this, and one day they're promoting that. There's no underlying message that weaves through everything they do. There's no theme. Yeah. So your message, if we think about your message, will be, it's a problem. Hopefully you can see this. And an outcome statement. Can't spell. It's been a long day, can't spell. It's a problem and outcome statement. That's the clearest message you can give to somebody. My job, my message to the world is I will help you elevate your authority so that your clients will want to pay you more for your services. So it's elevate your authority. And the key elements I'm trying to show is elevate, so you get more clients and they'll pay more. Why? Because now you're the expert in demand. So that's one of my messages, and that's the consistent message I'm putting out, and it's also as Maverick's putting out. Over the next season of what we're doing, this is what we're all about. Helping people elevate their authority so they can win more business and win more profitable business. So I've got a problem and outcome statement, but that gives me a theme. Yeah, your one message gives you a theme. So the theme on mine is authority, clients, pay more. So my content, my message, my products, everything is about these things. Authority, getting clients, and getting the ability to charge more. So I'm punching through the market with this clear message. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is how I help. This is how I help. Even today, in our social media world, in our digital world, the most powerful marketing message you can have is one that people tell other people. And so word of mouth, top of mind, where people know your name and understand what your name means. My name, Dean Seddon, does not mean, the leader of 10 cities, which is what my Dean name means. Yeah? I don't know what Seddon means. But that's not what my name needs to mean. My name needs to mean to my audience, this is what I do. So they associate Dean with this. And that's why one singular He's about to turn off. On and we'll see if we got all. So there's nothing as good as live broadcasts, right? Nothing as good as live broadcasts. So perfect. I didn't swear in the intermission either where we were trying to figure it out. So I didn't swear, I didn't lose my temper. So you are on an election campaign. So just if you've lost us on LinkedIn, we're going to put the links into the LinkedIn chat. We're going to put the links into the LinkedIn chat as well so that people can join us on YouTube. Thank God, David. Yes, let's get this party started. Let's crack on. So what I was saying was, you are like a one-person election campaign. Some people are saying that in the future, you won't just be hired for your skills, you'll be hired for your network. And so you being aligned and having your own audience with a singular message is critical. Your election message, your election strapline. But then we break it down into the key themes and the key messages that actually start to resonate with people. So Dean's number one, elevate your authority. Yeah, and I teach into what I call the 5 levels of authority, and how actually for most people the most profitable position is actually in the middle of the 5 levels of authority. It can actually be very expensive and very challenging to reach to the level 5. You can make a good living, a very good living, leading a business, being in that middle road, which is what I call the expert in demand level. So that's the first thing I'm focused on, the theme of personal brand and social authority. The second one is getting clients, winning business, sales, getting sales meetings and some of the messages around how to get clients. And then the final one is actually, how do I position myself as that expert in demand, and so people want to and expect to pay more for my services, so I'm not being lowballed. So there's 3 themes, 3 themes that I can weave through my content, through my messaging, through everything that I'm talking about, so that my primary message, my one sentence, is supported and consistently backed up in everything I do. So how do we turn that message into revenue opportunities? Now, how many of you are selling your, I don't mean this in a negative way, but how many of you are selling your expertise or your time, graphic designer, videographer, coach, consultant, social media marketer, teacher, trainer? How many of you are selling your expertise? How many of you sell, and then who's selling expertise? Who's selling a service and who's selling a product? Mention it in the chat if you can see it. Who's selling what in that group? Just put it in the chat and let me know who's selling expertise, who's selling a service, and who's selling a product. Whilst you're doing that, I want to start to think about, and I'm just going to scrub this off for a minute so we've got more space. I want to now focus on, right, what we're going to do is expertise. So Tam's selling expertise. Is I want you to think about your process as a journey. So if you're thinking about clients, yeah, so, and then here it's prospect. So you might not be able to see that very clearly, but hopefully it will make sense. Expertise in growing a unicorn, brill. a database, so service, access to information, expertise, products and services. Okay, so if you think about your prospect to client, and by client I mean they're bought into your primary service or primary offering. Yeah. So if you're a coach, they might be on your 12-month program. If you're a graphic designer, they're on retainer. If you're selling your product or your service, they're on a monthly plan. What is your primary main service? And list that there. And right down here, they're a prospect. Yeah, so they don't know you. They're spending zero with you. One of the key things you can do with your message is turn it into revenue opportunities. Now, I don't mean just, oh, I'm going to make something else. I mean that these revenue opportunities along that journey to your main offering will help you sell more effectively without having to push, without having to hardball people. So what you do is you create the journey that people will go on. And we talk about this in our programs and we call it land and expand. And what it basically is a journey. And I'll give you an example. In 2018, I used to do these sessions on the road, but we used to sell them as ticketed events. And in a year, we'd put about 5,000 people through our ticketed events. So 5,000 people would come through our ticketed event, which would be on our journey here. And in that event, I'd do something similar to what we're doing today. I'd do it over a couple of hours with worksheets and interactivity, a bit like the program I start next week. And we would do this ticketed event and charge a fee for it. And we started charging initially £70. And we'd have anywhere between 50 and 100 people in the room at any given time. So it wasn't like mega bucks. We weren't making tons of money off it, but that's what we did. As a result, some of the people who learned the information said, can you help me a bit more? Now, at the time, we had a little journey like this. Very simple. And we had what we called autopilot service. An autopilot service was we would write content for people. So companies would come to us and say, we want to really get leads and inquiries from content. Can you write it for us? And so we had the autopilot service, which we'd charge, I think it was £500 a month, I think at the time, for us to write content for them. The step to get people to spend £70 to learn a bit more about the messages that we teach, my message, turn my message into helpful information, we made £70. Not a huge amount of money, £70 per person, 5,000 people, it's £350,000-ish. Yep, £350,000 a year from doing that. Yep, £70. Then here, we made some more money because some of those people said, this is great. I can see now how I can grow my business. Content will help us prime our audience, get our message out there so we can convert more business. So a percentage of those people then came on and decided they wanted to buy the autopilot where we'd write the content for them. That's still not our primary service. Our primary service is actually so you won't be able to see that maybe, but our primary service is either one-to-one coaching with me, where I work with them on their business and we make a plan to go, where's our revenue now? Where do we want it to be? Or it's our accelerator program, which is a group, a 12-month group coaching sessions where we go, right, where are you now? Where you want to be? And the upsell to that is the one-to-one version. So this is what I'm selling. This is what I'm selling. But given the price tag of that, people need to get a flavor of the value. People need to buy in manageable steps that fit them. And also, if you're looking to use your message to make money, you don't want to be pushing it on people. You don't want to be selling. So the step to sell this was really easy. We were promoting it in content. We were pushing out on our newsletters. We were just promoting it as a thing because it's 70 quid. But then this piece, we'd tell people about it. It'd be at the back on the information stand at the event, and people would sign up. And those people, some of those people went, this is great, we've got content, but how do we make it work even more? How do we make it more? David, I hope not. I hope not. Autopilot. So we put Autopilot together, and then the people went into the one-to-one and the accelerator to help grow their business, grow their revenue, elevate their authority, but do it with me helping them along the way. So we built this journey that people can go on. Now, some businesses don't want to do that. They go, I don't want to, I just want to sell my thing. Well, actually, this whole process this takes an easy step for people to go to here. An easy step for people to go here, an easy step for people to go here. And you hardly have to sell. You don't have to push. So you can transform your message into revenue opportunities by doing something along the lines of, let's say this is your primary service and it's you do things for them. So let's say you provide service, you coach them or whatever. Then how can you give people a taster experience of that, which is like a taster session. So taster is the middle of the road. And then here is the info. So you go info, taster, real thing. You can just package your information, and people worry about this. And I'll give you an example. People worry about, well, if I give people the information, why do they need me? You'd be surprised. I deliver, and we've seen this the world over, that the problem with training on its own, we do a lot of training, but the problem with training on its own, and we tell our clients this, the problem with training on its own is people interpret the training from their own perspective. And so what happens is the training and information is valuable, but actually people struggle to recall and implement it in the way the trainer explained it. So what happens is the retention of the training knowledge is tiny. It's something like 20% of the training knowledge is retained. So you think about it, you go on a training course and 80% of it slips away from you. So people worry about, well, what happens if I give a manual and it helps people do this for themselves, or it helps people understand how I do things? 80% of it they won't get. They won't get, even if it's in their faces. So the next stage is the taster of the implementation. So, okay, we'll give you the information. Now let's do a taster session, or taster series of sessions, or a little something else that they can buy. So they can take their knowledge into a practical application, into full-blown implementation. So information, teaser or taster, full-blown implementation. So if you think about this, and even David Wickstead, you can use this because you can create a little information product that will help you open doors. It might be 25 quid, it might be 30 quid, it might be £1, maybe not £1, but the idea is it's getting people to invest in, and then you can follow that and say, how are you getting on with it? How are you moving with it? So it is a journey people go on. It's a process to take people to primary clients. It's also, apart from it being an easy way to grow your business, yes, PBM, exactly, Pete, exactly. So this journey, they can't, if they were going to do it themselves, they're going to do it themselves. They're never going to buy from you. But the idea is your expertise is not in the information, your expertise in actually in the implementation. So when we're doing this, turning that message into revenue opportunities, I made £350,000 here by going to venues and putting 50 people in a venue And the venue may have cost me £500-600 and some travel £200-300. So I didn't make huge money from doing it, but I actually got an audience that got me, understood me, had a taste of me and wanted a bit more. And then I moved them on and said, hey, I can help you even more. Let me help you implement this, either in the accelerator, our 100 leads program we start next week, or as one-to-one coaching where I come to your business and say, right, you're at 200 grand now, you want to get to £1 million, how are we going to get there? What's the marketing, what's the sales process that we have to do to achieve that? And what time do we want to do it in? So this is where the real value is. This is where my primary service is, but all of this stuff is a journey that helps people build belief, build trust, learn more about, and also start to resonate with my message. So turning your message into revenue opportunities is as straightforward as going, how can we deliver a bit of information that people pay for? How can we deliver a bit of a taster that people pay for? And then how do we get people to our primary service? So really important point to turn your message into revenue opportunities. Now, when we talk about amplifying your message, the simple thing is most people talk about, and then we're going to build your message production machine. Most people talk about marketing and sales as a funnel. You put people in the top and some come out the bottom. Correct? That's what we talk about. We need more people in our funnel. Yeah, I don't disagree with that process. I think what most people do is they end up in a situation where they're putting so many people in and squeezing a handful out here, like two or three out of here, but they're putting so many people in there. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. If you don't work on refining your funnel, refining your message, if you don't develop that sharp, resonating message, that funnel will struggle to get everybody down. It won't get as many people down as you'd hope. It won't get as many people down it as you think is right. But what I want to talk to you about, which is slightly off-piste a little bit from the funnel, is that if you want to amplify your message and to pick on what Pete's just said, PBM Consulting in the chat, I want to talk about the people who won't pay. I want to talk about, for a minute, the people who won't pay for what you do. I want to talk about the freebies. Now, some people call them freeloaders, but I want to kind of give you a totally different take. Some of you watching this today, barring the glitch, will go, Dean, that was nice and interesting. I have no intention of buying from you. That's absolutely fine. But I want to reassure you here of the value of the freebies, the value of the freeloaders. Because there is a value exchange that happens if you add value to people who will never pay for your service. First of all, number one, you never know who that freebie person knows. And do not underestimate that even when somebody comes to your stuff or engages with you or interacts with you on social media, you might get a bit grumpy going, why have they not bought anything? They're commenting, they're interacting, but they never buy anything. Do not worry about it, because your freebie people are some of your fans. Your freebie people are your fans. So where we looked here, right, there's a group of people down here who will pay you nothing, but they will give you everything. Your freebie people that you may have got annoyed at, frustrated at, the people who come to your stuff, they engage with your content but don't seem to bite, they are the crowd who give you a louder voice. Because if you look after those people, if you care for them and add value to them, they will share your content. They will recommend you. They will comment on your posts, and they will amplify your message to a wider audience. So if you're not thinking about it in this way, you can think in a very selfish way of, they're not giving me even 70 quid. They're giving you something more than that. They are using their account to extend your voice, to add to your credibility. And I would encourage you, there's a great book called Superfans. And it's great in terms of talking about most businesses only need 1,000 fans to be profitable, scalable, and sustainable. 1,000 fans sounds like a lot, but actually one of the things I discovered when we went into the P word, which we can't say on social media because we get demonetized, deranked, and all that stuff. When we went into the P word and I was doing all my events that then stopped, is I had to go, well, I now need to do something else. I need to figure something else out. So we decided to go live giving training out for free every week. I've done 6 hours of training, 4 hours paid today, and 2 hours I'll do for free. Different topics, of course, and different depth levels, but 2 hours of my day today is devoted to free training. The reason why I do that is you come, some of you will go, Dean, tell me about the 100 leads challenge that you're going to do. Dean, tell me about the accelerator. Some of you will go, this is great stuff. I learned something. And you'll see me on social media and you might comment, or you might see somebody else on social media saying, I'm really struggling to get the clients for the business. Does anybody know anybody who can help? And you tag @Dean7. I got a client today from somebody who'd recommended me, and the credibility I got from the customer, the client who said, you come highly recommended. Somebody says they swear by your stuff and your training. It was a real easy sell. Why? Because somebody else, a fan, somebody who believes in what I do, believes in my message, believes in my way of doing things, told somebody else they should do it too. So these people down here might not be the monetization directly, but they might monetize you in an amplification. So it's very short-sighted to go, I'm not going to cater to the free people. I'm sick of them. It can be frustrating if you're trying to make this journey work and you get lots of free people, but they will help you get to the right people. There is a bit of focus in the process you have to put in. You really have to fine-tune that message, which gives you the reach and the fan base to support it, the amplification. So I wanted to kind of talk for our last little bit here. I'm just picking up on some chats. They become advocates, yeah. So if you're seeing this in YouTube, you can see, thank you very much for that, total freeloader. Actually, Pete, I think you've referred a couple of people to us anyway, so I don't think you are a freeloader. But that's the way it works. Build your business around this model. It doesn't matter whether you're selling products, your end goal is to sell a product, a service, or your expertise. This process works for everything. It's a ladder. You take people, get people on the step. It's much easier to upsell a customer than to create a new one. So create a customer at a low level and grow them. Okay, customers at a low level and grow them. £350,000 I was making there. At that point, some people would go, I'd love that business there. Love that kind of business. Absolutely love it. Yeah, go make it. Go make it. Yeah, because that will help you feed the rest of the business. One of the biggest projects I have done in Maverrik, biggest projects we did as Maverrik, came from a ticket. It was actually, let me get my facts right. It was a slightly more expensive ticket in the P, because we did some bits and pieces in the P. It was about 200 quid. That 200 quid in the space of 3-4 months became nearly £500,000 contract from a 200 quid. They went in record time. So, Linda, thank you. So I would really encourage you to think about this as a journey, as a little journey, and go, what's the thing that gets them on the rung first, and then what moves them up? And these free people here, the freebie people, are brilliant assets for you. Yeah? If you believe in what you do, if you believe in the services you deliver, this will help you stop stressing about selling and actually get focused on, I want to get a result for the clients. I want to help the clients. That's all I want to do. What can we do to do more to that? Because people are on their journey. And actually some people go, I want to spend more money. Yeah, I want to spend more money. Because they believe in what you do, they believe in your message, and they've seen the value because you've taken them on that journey. So what I want to do in this last couple of minutes is I want to give you a framework that will help you create content around your message. So I'm going to have to clear the board a little minute. And apologies all you LinkedIn people who had to jump across to YouTube. I will be emailing LinkedIn and saying, sort yourselves out, please. Because they want a live experience, they need to make sure it works. I want to talk to you about taste. So this is a content formula that you can use. Hopefully you can see this on screen. I'm doing it as big as I can. So remember, your content, everything you're doing is trying to give people a flavor of who you are, what you're about. So you've got one key message, and you've got themes. So here's the simple thing that you can do with your content. So let's say we're talking about our themes. So Dean's got 3 themes. Elevate your authority, get more clients, charge more or make more money in your business. Yeah? So I've got 3 themes. So I'm going to teach people in part of my content how to elevate their authority. I'm going to teach people little bite-sized chunks in social media how they can elevate their authority. I might not do the whole full-blown thing in one post. I might break it up into some principles. I might say, today I'm going to do a principle about elevating your authority, and it will be one post. So let's say that's Monday. Yeah. Now on Tuesday, I could go, right, I'm going to give some people some actionable advice about charging more for their services. So on Tuesday, I'm going to give people some actionable advice. This is just my content, dead simple. Posts. Then on a Wednesday, I'm going to help them, I'm going to explain to them how I solve the pain of getting clients. So remember all my themes? Thursday, I'm going to share a testimonial from a client, a Trustpilot review, a Google review, a video, whatever you've got to share, case studies, anything to give people a flavour of what you do. And then Friday, and I'm not saying you have to do this every day, I'm just giving you an example. On a Friday, I'm actually going to let them experience me in some way, giving my personality across, my way of doing things, and make it a bit more personal, a bit more about me and why I do what I do and what about. Because it's important people buy into me, buy into you, as much as they buy into our service, buy into our business. So taste is a way where you can break down your themes into different content pieces. So let me give you a scenario. Your message, your one message, your election message, your get Brexit done. I'm sorry if I'm annoying people with that. It's just a very modern and effective way of how people landed a message that convinced people to back it. If I look at that taste, I can go, right, I've got my 3 themes. I've got my main message. Now what I can do is take, right, for the next three days, the next week, I'm going to do taste on one of my themes. The next week after that, I'm going to do taste on another one of my themes. The next week after that, I'm going to do taste on another one of my themes. So 3 themes. I can basically create 15 days worth of content without thinking hard at all or digging into it any further. But let's say I did. Everybody remember that, right? I'll leave it there. So what you do is you create your little mind map. So if I go, my first theme is elevate authority. So that's my first theme. So I'm going to mind map this out. Everything I do, I'll put into one of these contexts. But actually what I'm going to do on the elevate authority, I'm going to talk about building a fan base. Yeah, I know it's cheesy, call it a fan base, but effectively a freebie, people who want freebies but help you amplify your message. Okay, now I'm going to talk about getting featured in news and press. Now I'm going to talk about credibility. Yeah, so I can break down, mind map, and go, okay, what am I going to teach people about credibility? Okay, I'm going to teach people about credibility. I'm going to give some people action steps to improve their online credibility. I'm going to show people how I help them with their online credibility. I'm going to give testimonials of where I've helped people raise their online credibility. I'm going to show my experience and how some of my journey in helping people and how I built my own online credibility. Then the next week, I could do exactly the same thing about featured in the press and news, teach people why it's important, show people how to do it, help people see how I've helped other people do it, give people testimonials of how that press and I've got, I think, 4 or 5 clients who've got into major magazines and they've done it themselves so I could do this. And then my experience, you know, I've been 2 years contributing to Forbes. I've been on Fox, I've been on the BBC, I've been on Sky. I don't have the face for TV, but, you know, somebody has to make the other people look beautiful. I can do all of these things from one content mind mapper out my theme and then take it into the taste. Now I can spin it again. I can spin it again one more time and I can go, okay, I'm going to spin it by the medium. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same content. I'm going to have to wipe the board for this. Hopefully you're all still here and I've not put you to sleep. You know, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be one of those teachers who, you know when you role play as a kid, and maybe you don't even want to know this, but when you role play as a kid, I was always the teacher writing on the board. So this is like a childhood fantasy come through me, writing on a whiteboard. All right, but let's say for an example, I'm going to talk about online credibility. So that's my theme, right? And I've got my taste, yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a YouTube video. YouTube video. Dead simple, right? I'll do a YouTube video. I don't like doing videos so much, but I do them because I have to. So I do a YouTube video. Okay, I'm going to take the audio from that. It becomes a podcast. Yeah? So I've now got a YouTube video and a podcast of the same piece of content, which is teach about online credibility. Now what I'm going to do is going to transcribe and tidy up. And now I've got a blog. Yep. So I've now got a blog. Now I'm going to break that down and I might have 3 points in the blog. And point 1 might be a post, a text post on LinkedIn. Point 2 might be a snippet of the YouTube video. Point 3, sorry, might be a quote. One piece of content has made all of this. But then I might simplify this. So I simplify into a PDF or carousel. One piece of content about online credibility. Yeah. So teaching people about online credibility becomes a YouTube video, becomes a podcast, it becomes a blog, becomes a post text, a snippet, a quote, a PDF carousel. That's one. Now I'm going to give people 3 or 4 action steps to improve their online credibility. YouTube video works out you can make about 50 pieces of content from one topic. And because they're all different mediums, different audiences will soak them up. So you've got taste, then you've got so you've got the themes, the key message, the themes, taste, medium, video, blog, blah, blah, blah. But if you start with this one, which is the hardest, I started actually with the podcast because I felt more comfortable. But if you start with a video, you get the podcast, you get the blog, you get the post, you get the snippet, you get the quote, and you get the PDF carousel. One message can unlock everything. You can turn that message into revenue at various different stages of the journey. Not forgetting your fans, the people who don't buy, but amplify. Then you've got the message production machine translating all of that into multiple pieces of content. One piece of work can give you, 50 pieces of content. One video can do all of that. So how do you monetize your message? You've got to know fundamentally that single message that resonates. It takes practice, it takes training, it takes research, it takes some focus. We have a worksheet we do with all of our clients, all of them, whether you come on something for 25 quid or £25,000. It's the same worksheet because the same thing works whether you're a solopreneur or a CEO of a global company. If you don't understand the message that hits your market, you will miss the market. You'll miss the mark and you'll be wondering why it's not landing. Why is this not working? Because, coming back to it, it's that one message, that one singular message that punches through all the noise. And then it's about getting that filtered down into the feeds and into people's worlds where they can see the value, they can taste the value, and they can buy the value. Any questions? We are stupid, so we latch. I don't know what that means, Jody, right? Any questions on that? I know I've gone through a lot. I know I've got a lot. I went through there. Yeah, Rain said, we massively underestimate the value that, people who come for free bring. We undermine it, we don't encourage it, and it's just a mistake. It really is a mistake. Do we have any other questions? Pete, I'll forgive you for saying you can't spell Maverrik. It's all right, it's a tricky way to spell it. We had to do that on purpose to get a trademark. Look, I hope this has been helpful. I get really excited about this stuff because you can really see the difference. Let me just share this with you. When I do, sometimes clients will say to me, Dean, we want to lock ourselves in a room for a day and just unpack what we're about and kind of scrutinize it. And I really enjoy those sessions. They're very intense, but I do enjoy them. What if you want to sell other people's products? Jess, I'll come to that in a second. One of the things I love doing is when I do it, we'll lock ourselves in a room for a day and we'll literally break all this apart. And one of the big things I love about doing that is watching people's minds change. You know, when you can see the change on somebody's face when they realize something, you can't put a price on seeing that moment. But then when you start to see how a lot of their activity they were doing was nothing wrong with it, but you just shift the message a little bit and the change is unbelievable. But most people don't take the time to find that message. And if you don't find it, you struggle because it's like just not quite right. There's something missing that's not making it work. It's like a cog's missing out the machine. But once you find that message and sweeten it and tighten it and make it relevant, you end up with something that really makes an impact. You know, I had somebody email me the other day and say, I love the idea of your 100 leads course, but 100 leads is a lot. I only need 2 or 3. And I said, the reason we shoot for 100 is simply because in the first few weeks of the program, you're going to make mistakes. I don't want you to end up in the program with like all the mistakes. I want you to come out with some actual leads that will turn to business. So that's a key thing that we focus on. But I've got some questions here. Rain, I'm glad you think I'm good on video. I hate doing videos. Let me just go to some questions here. So I'm trying to connect what you said with the ladder when it comes to being an influencer. What if you want to sell other people's products? It's the same premise. If you want to sell other people's products, yeah, you will need people to have a buying experience of buying something from you. If your products are hit and miss that you're, promoting on an affiliate scheme, the best thing you can do if you want to influence, I can't remember the name of the person, if you want to influence people is to pick an audience where you can add value in particular ways so that those people get used to the products you promote are all great quality. They all add value. And so you might have your £25 product, you might have your £500 product, you might have your £5,000 product. But what you're doing is exactly the same thing with other people's products. Even down to, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, but even down to doing something like this, where you show people some of the great products you work with and how they help people, not quite QVC shopping channel, but a little bit like, hey, we're doing a get together, it's social, and you tell people a bit about what you get up to, and some people will buy it. A bit like, it's the equivalent of a digital Tupperware party. I know that's probably cheesy, but actually people like to socialize, getting on Zoom, meeting new people, and hearing new stuff. Linda, it does get easier. It does get easier, but there is a journey in terms of getting that message clear, concise, and kind of razor sharp. Sorry, Jess, I forgot your name. I'm glad, Augusta, you needed to hear this. This is brilliant. How do you develop a message that includes a pain, but the pain is something that will happen, but is not currently causing them distress? So, Pete, you make a good point. In our AVP process, we talk about something else. And I'm going to try and do it quickly. I'm doing another live at 8:30, believe it or not. So we're live in the US for another training session at 8:30. But pains, right? Everybody talks about pain points, right? Pain points are not the be all and end all. It's actually the symptoms. When you go to the doctor to get help with symptoms. So Pete, I wouldn't look for the pain, I'd look for the symptoms of the problem. So say for an example, let me think of an example. I'm a business owner and my website's getting no traffic. Am I worried about the structure of my website? Am I worried about the real root cause, the real problem? The real problem is my website's crap. Yeah, so my website's crap. Crap website. That's my real problem. I've got a shitty website. I shouldn't swear because YouTube will get upset with me. But that's the problem I've got. But actually, what I'm really annoyed about is no traffic. Symptom. I'm worried about the symptom. So in your scenario, Pete, you're looking at the perceived future problem that could come. You know, they have an accident and end up in court, or, you know, somebody gets killed or whatever. But actually, what we need to look at is the symptoms going on in their business that could be slowing their business down. So, well, I've done quite a bit of work with a number of people on this, where you have to look for the symptoms, and sometimes the symptoms manifest themselves in a way that's doesn't even look like the service or the pain that you're describing. Again, you think about it from a pain. Yeah, the pain, there's two types of pain. There's the pain that's undetected, yeah, but that's actually causing other things. Like, if I've slept funny, yeah, if I'm tired, I could say, actually, is it because I didn't sleep well? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? But actually, what the manifestation of being tired is, I don't have much energy in the mornings. I'm not getting work done. So sometimes you have to do it and work through this and really unpick it and pull it about. You know me, the pain is not getting investment funding before the startup runs out of cash. So what you could be doing is looking at, okay, so the first one is the goal. So Pete, I'd be talking about agitating based on the goal, how to get more investors engaged. And then I'd start to look at, okay, the pain that comes is you run out of cash. 5 signs that your business, it will run out of cash. Yeah, and Pete, I'm doing it very, very simplistic here, but you do the work, the AVP, you pull that apart, and then you go, okay, what's really the thing here? And then, as you know, Pete, we go into the content on LinkedIn or on social media. We start posting, and we see what works and what doesn't. We see what resonates and what doesn't, and then we test and we tweak and we test and we tweak until you get to a point where something resonates, and that's when we deploy what we call a 100K PDF. It's where we deploy a live event. It's where we deploy really targeted pain point posts. That's what you do. But you have to test the message. You can't just make it up. You have to kind of have a go, put it into the content, see what happens, and then get the feedback, put it out again. And it might take you 3 or 4 times to tweak that. But once you get it, you just go rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Even down to you end up knowing that certain words trigger things versus other words. So I know if I talk about getting clients, it appeals to one group of people, but when I say getting sales, it appeals to another group of people. So sales appeals to generally companies where the owner isn't involved, and clients generally appeals to people who are smaller businesses but also selling expertise. So you learn what words work and what's the best word and what's the best way to frame things to get the right attention. Any other questions before we wrap up? I have to wrap up because at 8:30 I've got another live session for our US office. In fact, if you want to join it, you can switch over to the Maverrik, fingers crossed, Maverrik North America page, and you can sign up in the next 20 minutes and you can join that session as well if you want to. So it's only on LinkedIn, Maverrik North America. Go on that page and you'll see an event on the side, which is called Present Your Webinar Like a Pro. Even when it goes wrong, we're going to do that session in about 20 minutes if you want to join. So thank you for joining today. We did have another question. I'll try and have a look at it there. Yeah, David, absolutely right. The analytics, feedback, getting that feedback from content will help you. Look, I appreciate it. I'd love you to join us on our 100 Leads program if you're able, if that's something you want to do. We start on the 26th. Drop us an email if you want to know more. If not, I'll see you on the next event in 20 minutes. But if you've got value from this, I just appreciate wherever you find us, wherever you are on the internet right now, if you've got value from this, go to Google, go to Trustpilot, go to my LinkedIn, wherever it is. Let me know, follow, subscribe, like, comment, all that wonderful stuff would be really, really appreciated. And I thank you so much for joining me tonight.